Well then, this is a road test video for a very rare car indeed, for all sorts of reasons actually. This is a Honda Accord 2 litre SC automatic Tourer, or Estate in any other language. Car's registered KP07AHK and with just 52,029 miles recorded. So an exceptional car in terms of mileage, and in every other way in all honesty. The reason we do the road test videos, actually especially this part of the video, is basically because we want to show any of our cars we're selling or advertising actually in operation. And the reason's very simple. We've been to see numerous cars over the years which have looked absolutely fine in photographs and descriptions given, only to get there and find out when you've driven it there's an obvious fault that shows up straight away, so hence that's why we do it. Also done on these lovely quiet country roads in this beautiful part of Gloucestershire. Even on a miserable day it's lovely. This actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on, so hopefully then we'll be representative of what you'd feel yourself should be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car, this is a generation of Honda I absolutely love, so I'll have to try and rein in my enthusiasm, but it's going to be rather difficult. Engine, K-Series engine, starts instantly, settles down absolutely smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. Temperature gauge running into third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda vehicle. Honda are renowned, and rightly so, as being the builders of the best four-cylinder engines in the world, and it's well earned, because this is a classic example. These are as close to bulletproof as you'll possibly find an engine. They are incredibly long lasting. It's a jewel of an engine in every single way. From the moment you start it and you hear the engine tone, the lack of vibration for a four-cylinder is astonishing. By modern standards, it murders most modern four-cylinder engines, which can be sort of thrummy and have those sort of high resonance vibrations to them. This is just sophistication. I mean, it really, really is. And to think the car's now, as old as it is, 15 years old nearly. It beggars belief. It really does. On top of which, driving it, because obviously that's what the whole point of the engine's in the car for, is fantastic. It's so smooth. It's so tractable as well. It'll pull from low revs all the way through, obviously, to the upper revs where the VTEC kicks in. But it's got a docility about the engine. Low speed. There's no flutters, fluffs, no holes in its power delivery. When you put your foot down and go, and it picks up the revs, it's like it's kind of whispers to you. It is an astonishing engine. I told you I struggled to rein in my enthusiasm, didn't I? But anyway, by the by, a masterpiece of an engine. Goes into the automatic gearbox, very well suited to the car. Ratios are chosen very carefully to extract the best out of the car in terms of economy and performance, and does a brilliant job of it. The gearboxes, like the engines, are renowned for being unbelievably tough and reliable, but notwithstanding that, you should always do the obvious checks on any automatic car. Make sure when you select it into drive or reverse there's no clonks or thunks as it engages, and on the move the gear changes should be smooth, and they're perfect in that sense. You also have the opportunity to pull the gear lever to the right here. It selects me fifth gear in this case, pull it back to go down the gears, push it forward to go up the gear, so you can do it manually. And it's one of the nicest systems, and it feels lovely in terms of the actuation as well. So fuel lights just popped on. Coming to, as much as I love the engine and gearbox in the car, it's the chassis that I think is the unsung hero in this car. It is simply brilliant. Starts with the steering, which, by the way, tracks absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal any up to the legal limit. But it's got, again, because it's a pre-electric power steering setup, it means you've got real feel, real sense of what's going on underneath the car. It's also got that lovely kind of oily, weighty feel to it. Even though it's light and power steering, it's not over light, which I despise in cars. When you turn the wheel, you can feel it actually doing something. It's millimetre perfect when you're pointed on the road. And it works in absolute harmony with the chassis. It is genius. The chassis, and by the way, I like to talk about it on this section of road because it's an awful section of road. It's like the surface of the moon. No modern car I've driven, apart from possibly kind of top-end Lexus LSs and that kind of thing, ride this section of road as well as this. It's amazing how compliant the chassis is, because it doesn't rely on ridiculously small profile tyres to make them look pretty on the car, which ruin ride comfort. Hasn't got stupidly hard shock absorbers and springs to make up for a deficit in the rigidity of the chassis, which a lot of modern cars seem to do these days. So it gives you this beautifully damped ride, really beautifully judged, but also the chassis, you can flow through corners, low speed, high speed. It deals with them all brilliantly. Like I said, it's, you know, it is the unsung hero, because it is an astonishing chassis. It really is. As I said, no clonks, no rattles coming from underneath the suspension. It feels ridiculously tight, you know, akin to driving a new car. I'm just going to give the brakes a good old shove, make sure no one's directly behind me. So, nice hard brake on the car, good brake pedal on the car, nice and powerful. What I'm looking for is just to make sure there's no kind of pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal, and there are none at all. The car, by the way, hopefully later today, will be going off for an independent MOT, so these things will be checked as part of that as a matter of course. But as I said, on the road, if anyone jumps in this car, you know, remember this moment, because, you know, I can't detect any kind of wear, any looseness in the chassis at all. It's ridiculously tight for a car of its age, regardless of mileage. Then to come inside the car, I mean, what a beautifully built interior, absolutely fantastic. And I know modern cars, you know, got all the gadgets and all the kind of hands-free stuff and tech and screens everywhere. I just find them, but perhaps I'm unique in that sense, I just find a complete distraction to driving. I really do. This one's got a nice big radio, simple to use, climate control system, dual zone, side to side, so it's nicely equipped. That blows out lovely cold air, by the way. It's got electric sunroof, electric windows, electric wing mirrors, power folding wing mirrors, electric tailgate, so it's very highly equipped. What it hasn't got is lots of gadgets on there, which means you're looking at the display rather than the road ahead. And it's all the better for it. And like all Hondas, whenever you press any of the buttons, you're greeted with a lovely tactile finish feel to how they operate. It's got all of them have that precision to the quality of the buttons they use. The dash binnacle in front, again, simplicity. It's just you look at the dials, you take the information in, it's beautifully displayed, all working perfectly, but they don't give you any more than you need, and that's spot on. Steering wheel looks brand new. It's ridiculous. And again, I said in a recent video for an Accord, I love the fact that it's kind of thin rimmed. Most modern cars have big fat rimmed things. This is, you drive with your fingertips as you're meant to do. You know, the racing drivers like thin rimmed steering wheels generally, because they get to feel the road, they get to feel as the cars with the feedback coming through. And I must admit, I agree. It's absolutely fantastic. As I said at the start of the video, you know, the point is actually just to show the car and to feedback on any issues. There are none at all. It drives absolutely beautifully, and this is why Hondas are so sought after and why they're relatively expensive at this age, because they go on for hundreds of thousands of miles more and just keep going and going and going. They are a beautifully made car. As always, if you've got any questions about the car, don't hesitate to give us a call.